There's been a lot of chatter about Tom Thibodeau entering the playoffs on the hot seat, but rumors are heating up that Tibbs and Leon Rose are on the hot seat. We'll break that down, but first, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I am kindly asking 16 people to hit that subscribe button. CEO James Yoder said we got to get to 62,000 subs today, and I don't want to upset Boss Man. So if you love the Knicks and you want free videos every day and you want to join us live for every single playoff game for our Knicks, subscribe to the channel right now. Welcome into New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. Ian Begley of SNY on his weekly show, The Putback. He spoke with Steve Popper of Newsday, who covers the New York Knicks as well, and they talked about Tom Thibodeau and Leon Rose being on the hot seat. This is what Begley said, quote, "I do think that there's a strong possibility, a solid possibility, that changes are coming if the Knicks flame out against Detroit, or even if they are in a non-competitive series with the Celtics in round 2. Earlier this year, somebody asked me about Tom Thibodeau, and I thought based on everything that I'd heard coming into the year, I didn't think there was a scenario where the Knicks would look to change their head coach. Now, more recently, having conversations with people, seeing which way the wind is blowing, the stakes are high for Tom Thibodeau going into the postseason." Told you. I tried to tell you. Leon Rose is not going to sit on his hands and watch the team he put together and poured all of the assets that he saved up over the last 5 years to watch Tibbs flame out in round 2 or potentially lose in round 1. I appreciate everything Tom Thibodeau has done for the New York Knicks, but the facts are the facts. The Knicks lost in round 2 to the Miami Heat 2 years ago when they were the higher seed and had home court advantage. The Knicks lost to the Indiana Pacers in round 2 last year. All the injuries, I get it, but they lost as a 2 seed going up against a team that really wasn't on the same playing field as the New York Knicks. So 2 times in round 2 as the favorites and with home court advantage, you have lost. And Leon Rose knows that the time is now. Yes, it is year 1 of this roster, but with Jalen Brunson and where he's at in his career, the time is now. Brunson is awesome. There's no doubt about it. But generally speaking, 6'1" guards that don't rely on athleticism don't always have the longest careers in the NBA. And that is just a fact. And I'm hoping Jalen Brunson is great for the next 50 years for the New York Knicks. But the time and the window and the opportunity to win the East and put a banner in MSG is right now. And Leon Rose knows that. And he is not cool with losing in round 2. It was cute when you got to round 2, when you beat the Cleveland Cavaliers when you weren't supposed to, but then you lost to the lower seed Miami Heat when you should have won that series. And it wasn't as cool as losing in round 2 this past year as it was 2 years ago. And I'll tell you this much. If the Knicks are uncompetitive against the Boston Celtics in round 2, I think Leon Rose is going to fire Tom Thibodeau. It can be a sweep, but it better be a competitive sweep like it was when the Lakers lost to the Nuggets, whatever year that was. You better not just lose the first 3 games. You get game 4 at home against Madison Square Garden. You get blown out at game 5 at the TD Garden, or you're going to be fired. And if you lose in round 1 to the Detroit Pistons, it's over. It's over. If you fall, if there's even a game 7 against the Detroit Pistons, you might be fired. But I'll go on record and say I guarantee that if the Knicks lose in round 1 to the Detroit Pistons, they'll have a new head coach next year. And if they lose in round 1 versus the Pistons, could they maybe even have a new head of basketball operations? Steve Popper of Newsday said this on Ian Begley's show, The Putback, on SNY, saying, if the Knicks don't get past the first round somehow, there's going to be changes probably. People mention Tom Thibodeau. I've heard rumors that front office stuff could happen. Mikal Bridges is up for an extension, and a decision has to be made. To me, this is a real make-or-break period for the New York Knicks. These are huge playoffs. There are so many jobs riding on this. If you lose in round 1, Leon Rose might be fired. Tibbs will definitely be fired, and there will be major changes to the roster this offseason. To me, I can understand firing Tom Thibodeau, but I don't really understand firing Leon Rose. Like, I try to compute it in my brain and think where the Knicks were when it came to overall management of the roster, GMs, head of basketball operations, head decision makers, compared to now. It is miles and it's completely different. I know you could say the same thing about Tom Thibodeau, but I actually think Leon Rose is way more important to the Knicks than a guy like Tibbs. Like, you don't get Brunson if you don't have Leon Rose. And if you don't get Brunson, then you don't get Hart. And then you don't get all of these other people. You don't get Karl Anthony Towns without Leon Rose. I've got more thoughts about Leon and Tom Thibodeau, but first I want to hear from you. Entering round one against the Pistons, whose seat is hotter? Is it Leon Rose type LR? Is it Tom Thibodeau type TT? Like, for me, it's Tibbs, and it's not really close. Now, if we do lose in round one, then yeah, maybe you do need to have a conversation with Leon Rose, and maybe he needs to bring somebody else in, even though he's already done that with Gerson Rosas. I just don't see how it's more likely the Knicks fire Leon Rose than Tibbs. But I'll dive deeper into that in a second. First, I got to give a major shout-out to our proud sponsor, Factor. Shout out to Factor. They take care of me, and when I got Factor in the fridge at home, my life is a heck of a lot easier. And yours can be the same if you go to factormeals.com/KnicksChat50off. That is factormeals.com/KnicksChat50off. Shout out to Factor. If you're ready to optimize your nutrition this year, get started with them. Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes. If you're somebody like me that has a pretty busy lifestyle, you don't have time to go to the grocery store, you don't have time to meal prep, you don't have time to buy the right ingredients, and you want to spend more time outside the kitchen, get hooked up with Factor. If you're on a certain meal plan you want to follow, like keto or protein plus or calorie smart, Factor has you covered there. Breakfast option, lunch options, dinner options, snack options, and so much more. You get to pick your pre-made meals, which are prepped and cooked to perfection. Just heat them up, eat them, and enjoy them. And you can get 50% off your first order with the promo code KnicksChat50off. So go to factormeals.com/KnicksChat50off and use that promo code KnicksChat50off to get 50% off your first order. Get started today. Be a real one. Support the show. Support the sponsor. Shout out to Factor. We love having them on the show. Only way we're going to be able to keep them is if you guys show love. So please, please, please support the sponsor. When it comes to Tom Thibodeau and Leon Rose, let's start with this. Is the roster perfect? Absolutely not. Like, I think everyone can agree that there are holes and problems with this roster. Not to be mean, but like, if Cam Payne and Landry Shamet are your 7th and 8th player, or 8th and 9th player, you're probably not going to be that strong of a team. And the Knicks are a really solid team, and I almost say really good regular season team, despite having one of the thinnest benches in the league. But even though there's problems with this roster, they are so much better than 0-8 versus Cleveland, or 0-15 against Cleveland and Boston and both LA teams and Golden State and Oklahoma City. Like, you rarely have even been competitive in those games. But so who cares about the West, right? You are better than 0-8 versus Cleveland and Boston. That's just a fact. Like, and then I look at it like this through Tom Thibodeau's eyes. I don't think the coach and the personnel match up. Like, Tibbs is trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, or a round peg in a square hole, whatever the hell the term is. Like, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. You traded for Karl Anthony Towns to be an elite offensive team. There has never been an elite offensive team under Tom Thibodeau. This is the closest version of Tibbs ever having an elite offense. And that elite offense is really overrated. Like, I know a lot of people like to flex that the New York Knicks are top 6 or top 5 in offensive rating. Well, that's easy when you have the easiest schedule in the NBA before the league year, or until it turns to 2025. What about this? Since January 1st, the Knicks have the 16th best offensive rating in the NBA. How is that possible? Even more mind-boggling. You went out and traded for Karl Anthony Towns, the best shooting, best three-point shooting big man of all time. And you are attempting less threes this year than you did 2 years ago when Mitchell Robinson was your starting center. Oh, and you're shooting less threes this year than you did last year when your starting centers were Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein. How on earth do you shoot less threes when you have 5 guys that all could shoot threes on the floor? I'm not saying Josh Hart knocks them down in a high clip, but he shoots enough, and he shoots like 35% when the Knicks win games from deep. How on earth is this possible? You should have been fired once the regular season ended because you did not maximize your roster. Because this should be an offensive juggernaut. You have a top 5 point guard in the NBA. You have a top 5 center in the NBA. When you talk about wing duos between OG and Mikal Bridges, I would say that's probably top 5 as well. And if your 5th best starter is Josh Hart's better than about 25 other 5th best starters on any other team. Like, they don't even play 5 out with Karl Anthony Towns. There's been like 41 minutes this year where they've played Miles McBride in the lineup over Josh Hart. You don't play 5 out. You just don't do it. You are refusing to lean into what this roster needs. Look at this picture right here. All the lineups that the New York Knicks have run heavy minutes with, right? You have 940 minutes of Towns, OG, Hart, Bridges, and Brunson. That is far more than any other team's starting lineup. And you have a net rating of plus 3.3 in that lineup. So not even great results. And if you take it from January 1st until now at this lineup, it's like less than a point plus 100 possessions. So why not try different lineups? Like the one that has a net rating of 14.9. Towns, Payne, OG, Anunoby, Hart, and Bridges. Or what about the one that has a net rating of plus 34.4 of Towns, OG, Hart, Brunson, and McBride? Why on earth has that lineup only played 84 minutes? I just don't get it. Like, you didn't even go into this year trying to experiment and find things. This was like an all-in approach from you. You played your starting 5 more than 8 times, it seems like, any other lineup. And you're just cool with rolling with it. Like, I don't get it. You didn't even experiment. You didn't even look for a better solution. You just said, we're going to play these 5 guys and hope we win games. And you're outscoring teams throughout the year by 3.3 points per 100 possessions. No experiment, but the experiment of overplaying the starters, it did not work. Tibbs has the playoffs to save his job. He's not fired yet. And if you beat Detroit, there's a chance you don't get fired. But you got about a month and a half or maybe even 2 weeks to prove that you deserve or you don't deserve the job. I'm appreciative for everything Tom Thibodeau has done. He reached into the gutter and he pulled us out. He deserves all the credit and some. 4th most winning coach in Knicks history. But the expectations I had when we hired Tibbs are no longer the expectations that I have. Expectations change. And winning 50 games in a regular season isn't cool to me anymore. I want to get past the second round. Some of the Knicks haven't done in like 25 years. If you want more Knicks content over on social media, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on IG. I've been posting a lot over there about the Knicks, and as the playoffs roll on, we're going to keep on rolling on. So sub for Nick Stubbs. Hit me up on social media. Smack that thumbs up icon your way out if you're a real one. And let's go Knicks.